All right, folks, the Bad Batch came out this week. Let's talk about it. Next Star Wars project. Let's do it. All right, so the episode opens off, it's a long one, and it opens off very intense. First off, you start with a great action sequence exhibiting their capabilities, and then Order 66, the usual. A nice hook. If you compare Clone Wars Season 1 to this, the animation is just so impressive that they've come this far. And then I noticed it really in Season 7 first, Clone Wars Season 7. But it still applies here. It's always awesome to get a unique look, a unique perspective at a conflict that we already know. So, for example, Obi-Wan going to fight Grievous was sort of referenced here in the beginning. They name dropped it. They're talking about how the war is almost about to end, and then of course Order 66. We've seen that everywhere though. But a nice look at, because this is a galaxy. This is a galaxy that everyone lives in, and of course not every event will be perceived the same way by everyone. I had predicted that this episode would sort of be like the Clone Wars movie, which was really just 4 episodes put into a movie. Really, that was all they were going for, a season. I'm pretty sure they just took it out of the season and put it in movie format for whatever reason. And this is sort of, it does feel, I don't know if that was what they were going for, but it does feel like there are distinct, chunks within this episode. Camino is its own sort of little chunk. And I'm not sure if it's an episode per se, if it would last that long, but it certainly isn't, I don't know, certainly isn't as cohesive maybe as a movie. Now, I haven't seen most of Rebels. I've seen a little bit, and I'm not really a fan, to be honest. But apparently the Padawan at the beginning is Kanan, and I always love little references like that. Makes the franchise, any franchise, feel more fleshed out. Now, this episode is something I didn't think I needed. The clones' perspective of Order 66. You always get them shooting their Jedi, their masters. They obviously believe that the Jedi, tried to assassinate the Emperor, which is the lens he tries to frame it through. And then you get all these clones. You get their perspectives. They go back to Camino. They're a little colder. It's a cool look at the Star Wars universe. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time in any mainstream Star Wars, at least, I'm not really a Legends guy, but that we actually get to see the Galactic Empire really, rise up, become a thing. We actually get to see, and I assume this show in general will continue to show us the early stages of the Galactic Empire, which is something, I think that it'll be awesome. I think it'll be great to see. I think that, we haven't seen that. And, we go from the Galactic Empire, the Republic falling, the Galactic Empire actually starting. We get Palpatine's little speech in here. And then, the rest of the stuff, the Galactic Empire is fully taken over the galaxy, right? It's in Solo, it's on all a variety of planets, it's on Tatooine. We never actually see it, those growing pains. And I think if the show does decide to do that, I would be here for it. Sort of along those lines, we've gotten a lot of content. I think the majority of Star Wars content outside of the mainline movies, the Skywalker saga, has been set between episode 3 and 4. So that little period between the Galactic Empire, but not before the rebellion really tries to destroy the Death Star. So I think that it'll be interesting to see if this one tries, if it makes it mark, if it feels distinct from other movies, from other shows set during this time, or if it falters, if it feels like just some typical Star Wars story. Again, if it does explore the sort of growing pains aspect of the Galactic Empire, then I think it will have certainly made its mark on me. And then another thing I didn't know going in, I had always assumed, because I think it's a logical assumption if you don't know much, but I think that the clone troopers became stormtroopers, right? They just, the chip, whatever, turned them into subservient beings to the Empire, and that they just, became, got new outfits, whatnot. But I guess I was wrong. I guess every single stormtrooper is a result of a draft, I think Tarkin said, which is interesting to explore. But now a new question arises. Maybe someone knows the answer. Maybe it's been explained before in Star Wars. But what happens to the clones? You have a huge army of clones here. Not all of them are going to survive, right? Are they going to be mass purged? pretty dark. The Star Wars has been that dark before, so I wouldn't put it past them. Obviously, some will survive. You have a few stray clones doing whatnot, but I mean, they can't survive on a large scale, right? We'll see. Hopefully that's explored here. And then just watching this episode, I like to see, again, characters appear that are sort of in the franchise elsewhere, appear where it makes sense and where they can add more to their character and more to the story. And Tarkin is an example here, and I think we sort of forget sometimes, I did for sure, how big a deal he was really within the Empire. He was on par with Vader status-wise, right? He was the main strategy guy, the head honcho of all that, before Palpatine was even in the picture, really. I imagine most of the people didn't even know about the Emperor, and they just knew about Tarkin and his iron grip. So cool to see him. Maybe we get some more of him. Seems like he might be a key figure within this one, sort of ordering Crosshair around. It's after, you get to, there are a few, the beginning is excellent, right? Pretty much everything for a while is really great. And then you get to the training scene on Kamino. I don't really think it's necessary. I didn't particularly enjoy it. I didn't think the action was anything exceptional. And I thought, again, there really isn't a necessary scene. It doesn't accomplish much. And there are a few scenes like that within this episode, which, it is a 70-minute episode. So maybe it would have been nice to cut back on some of the stuff. I know we've also seen Saw Gerrera before on Clone Wars for sure, a younger Saw Gerrera, but I think he's in Rebels as well. And maybe this is just a little cameo, or maybe, again, like the birth of the Galactic Empire, we see the birth of the rebellion, because Saw Gerrera had a big hand in that, if I'm not mistaken, in the beginning, especially before they kicked him out because he was too radical, if I recall. And I think that could be interesting if the Bad Batch decides to, because obviously a hunter is trying to figure out the situation, figure out where their loyalties lie. And I think if they want to help Saw Gerrera in an episode or something like that, that could be interesting to see the rebellion get its legs. Maybe we see some politician, wink wink, Leia, I don't know, maybe in her, what's dude's name? Oh my god, I forgot, but her dad on Alderaan, whatever, maybe. That would be cool, that's all I'm saying. I forgot his name. Shit. Tell me his name in the comments, please, I forgot it. I have to say, in general, kid characters in media, I get this could be considered a kid's show, but no, they're never really great, they're never really fleshed out, and then Omega could be different, but as of right now, she seems to be pretty typical, pretty standard, pretty lame, unfortunately. And then at the end of the episode, again, Hunter talks about going to visit a friend somewhere. I don't know who that is, maybe someone knows. I tried to look it up, but it appears that there's no definitive answer, so they really are. I figured some Star Wars nerd somewhere would know, but maybe I just wasn't reading the right things. If you know, if you think you know, let me know down below. I'm just interested to see. I'll probably continue to review. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to give any promises. It's a long series. It's 14 episodes, I believe. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I'm definitely gonna watch either way, and I'm excited to see next episode and what happens. Folks, this is my prediction for the show's future. It seems like Crosshair will try to track down the Bad Batch, and eventually the Bad Batch will be like this whole loyalty thing. They'll be like, we have to try and get him back, and they will probably be unsuccessful. Crosshair will probably die in the process, but in the meantime, the season will be padded out with a bunch of adventures. The Bad Batch will go do odd jobs, try and maybe help up the rebellion, it seems like, stop the Galactic Empire wherever they can. And meet some friends that we know and we love along the way. Sounds an awfully lot like another Star Wars show. Pretty popular one, actually, that's pretty recent even. Odd Jobs Around the Galaxy, meeting people we know and love. I hope it's not the same, right? I hope it's different. Again, I hope it makes its mark as its own thing. I didn't find the Bad Batch to be particularly interesting characters in their time in the Clone Wars. And so a show I found to be a questionable decision, but I would love it if they made their mark. Folks, I enjoyed this episode for sure. I think some parts were definitely left a lot to be desired, but I think this show could be a very interesting take on the Star Wars universe, on Star Wars characters, and I'm interested to see where it goes. Let's say that. My interest is piqued, and let's hope they don't let me down. Alright folks, that's going to do it for this review of episode 1 of Bad Batch, the series premiere. Folks, I've been an EPC review. You've been amazing. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Please, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, all the good stuff, folks. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.